Okay, a friend of mine lost his father sometime last week, and I went over to see him during one of the nights. And as usual, people were trooping in and out of the house. I got to see him, sit with him, and have small talk with him, commiserate with him, like encourage and sympathize with him. And that moment took me back in time, some 24 years ago, when I lost my own father, you know. And when I lost my own father, sympathizers were tripping to the house, and this certain man also came, saw my mom. When he was done with her, on his way out, he met me outside and also sympathized and commiserated with me. And at some point, he laid a hand on my shoulder, yeah, on my shoulder, and said something like, I know how you feel, but be strong. I didn't make much of it that period until some years later. Um, this person I'm talking about, his father is still alive up to now, but he said he knew how I felt. He had not lost a father. When it dawned on me years later, after years later, when it dawned on me, I I was almost getting angry. I was almost getting angry. And then whenever I saw him, I would, like, in my mind, not his out loudly. I was just like, look at this guy. His father is still alive as at today, the 13th of December 2024, and was telling me in 2020 that he knew how I felt. I had lost a father. He had not lost a father. So how would you know how I felt? Um, but I've come a long way. I've learned to forgive people for their wrongful use of words and phrases and sentences, so long as I'm sure they are good intentioned. Yeah, people may have good intention and wrongfully use or wrongfully express themselves. So I've learned to make excuses for such persons. You cannot know how somebody feels if you have not worn that person's shoes. I just wish people would understand this. And yeah, when I go to encourage people that has lost loved ones, I confidently tell them I know how you feel. Especially if it's a young boy that has lost a father, I say I know how you feel. I I know because I have also lost a father, and I thought that the world would end with his demise. But here we are, 20 something years later. Life still goes on. So, um, and then I also share with them how my experience, that's the loss of my father at the age that I lost him, how that experience for me has given me more meaning to what Apostle Paul was saying in the book of First Corinthians chapter 2 and verse no, chapter 1 verse 2 and verse 3, where it says something like uh, I think, blessed be God, the Father of all comfort, or the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the God of all comfort, who comforts us in our tribulation, so that we might be able to comfort others with the same comfort that He has given us. Something like that. I'm merely paraphrasing. Um, when you go through certain situations in life, sometimes I think they are for, might not be always, but a lot of times or sometimes I think they are for a reason. Because, take for example, if you are a widow and, yeah, you are an old widow and you've been able to train your children and they've turned out to be important people in the society, and then you have your church member or your neighbor, a young lady that just lost her husband, and she's crying and saying, my own don't finish. There's no hope. How would I cope? How would I survive with these little children that this man has left me with? You can confidently tell them that no, 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 it's not the end of life. It happened to me. You know me. I had 6 children, or I have 6 children. My husband died just so years after marriage. He left me with so number of children. Now you know. The other person is this now, that other person is this, that other person is in so country. So it's not the end of life. So yeah, God comforts you in your tribulation or in your times of trouble, so that you may be able to comfort others with the same comfort that He has given you. So just like me, learn to forgive people for their wrongful use of words and phrases, so long as you are sure they are good intentioned. That young man was good intentioned. He was trying to empathize with me, but for him to say, or for him to have said that he knew how I felt, or he knew what I was going through, he could only imagine how it would have been more appropriate if he had said, I can imagine what you are passing through, or I can imagine how you are feeling, but not to say that he knew how I felt. So, blessed be God, the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, who comforts us in our times of trouble, so that with the same comfort He has comforted us, we'll be able to comfort others in their times of similar trouble.